Just when you think the Bundys cannot become more deluded, they are now circulating a petition to Attorney General Jeff Seessions. I will now show you a copy of their petition. Their petition is deluded on three different levels. One, they are claiming that the Hammonds should be released. The Hammonds are Stephen and Dwight Hammond. Stephen Hammond set 2 wildfires illegally and they burned federal land. Dwight Hammond set 1 illegal fire and it burned federal land. They were both convicted of it and they were given the minimum sentence of 5 years in prison. With regards to the Bundys, they have a distorted view of the United States Constitution. They somehow have claimed, which defies reason, that Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 allows the amount of land that the federal government can own. They totally ignore Article 2, Section 2, which allows the United States the ability to make treaties. They also ignore Article 6, which makes treaties the supreme law of the land. They also ignore Article 4, Section 3, which gives the Congress the power to regulate federal land. They additionally ignore Article 3, Section 2, which gives the federal courts the power to determine issues involving the federal government. What happened with regards to the Bundys and their current incarceration is that their cattle were trespassing on federal land in Nevada. That land was acquired from Mexico by a treaty in 1848. The land has ever since been the property of the United States government. The government went into federal court and the issue was litigated and it was found that Bundy cattle were trespassing on federal land. The BLM was given an order that allowed them to remove the trespassing cattle, and that's what they were doing. However, while they were doing it, the Bundys chose to interfere with their lawful order. That is why the Bundys are currently incarcerated. It is also interesting to note that while incarcerated, Ryan Bundy and Ammon Bundy are not able to conform themselves to the rules of the jail, and they are on a frequent basis put in solitary confinement. Then they're also petitioning about an investigation into the death of LaVoy Finicum. LaVoy Finicum, prior to being killed, had numerous times given interviews in which he said that he was not going to be put in a jail cell. On January 26, 2016, he was stopped while driving on the highway by federal authorities that were going to arrest him for the occupation of the Malheur Wildlife Refuge. He chose to drive off. He drove further down the road. There was a roadblock. He tried to drive around the roadblock. His vehicle got stuck in the snow. He was ordered to get out of the vehicle and get on the ground. You can hear that on the cell phone taping by some of the people who were in the vehicle, that he was told at least twice to get on the ground. There was also a aerial video of that, And it is clear from that video that he made no attempt to get on the ground. He was also heard to say, "Go ahead and shoot me," and he was seen reaching an area where he was known to have a gun. At that time he was shot by the officers. They also are petitioning about having Hillary Clinton investigated for her role in approving a deal whereby a Russian company bought a Canadian company, and that Canadian company had the rights to 20% of the uranium reserves in the United States. However, not only did the petition seems to claim that Hillary Clinton sold the uranium to the Russians. However, she was on the Committee on Foreign Investments, and she was not the only one on that committee who approved the deal. In addition, there was the Department of Treasury, the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Commerce, and the Department of Energy, along with the Attorney General and the Office of Science and Technology and the United States Trade Representative. They are trying to draw an inference that somehow the Clinton Foundation sold that uranium. Well, the Clinton Foundation didn't have the uranium, and 8 other departments or groups signed off on that deal too. So you can see that with regards to releasing the Hammonds, they were rightfully convicted. With regards to the Bundys, they are awaiting trial because they interfered with a lawful court order. And with regards to Hillary Clinton, she and 8 other people signed off on a deal. And with regards to LaVoy Finicum, he was reaching into an area where he was known to have a gun after having driven away from the first stop, tried to drive around a roadblock, was ordered to go to the ground, and he made no effort to go to the ground, and that's why he was shot to death. So we can see how the Bundys, in fact, are totally deluded for having this petition. I would guess that if it gets to the Attorney General's office, it'll be given to a young Attorney General, and they will spend a lot of time laughing trying to figure out what the Bundys are saying.